Sami Yusuf is an Iranian-born British singer-songwriter, composer, producer and multi-instrumentalist musician of Azerbaijani descent. In 2003 Yusuf released his first album allim at the age of 23. He released his second album Ummah in 2005. In October 2010, Yusuf for unregistered trademark's third official album Wherever You Are was launched. Sami calls his genre of music Spiritique. Salaam is his fourth album, that was released in December 22, 2012. Early life: an ethnic Azerbaijani born in Tehran, Yusuf was raised in London from the age of 3. His father loaned him a book on the basics of the tombak, Persian instrument which Yusuf studied. As a teenager he was a devotee of classical music and classical icons like Chopin and Mozart, admitting that he listened to classic FM radio station for hours in a day. He went on training professionally in several other instruments including the santur, piano, violin, oud, sitar, tar, and darf under the guidance of traditional teachers, as well as professional musicians. While producing and demo recording for another singer, he became aware of his own singing abilities which were further developed by the encouragement of his family. Divided between pursuing a musical career or studying law at King's College London, Yusuf opted for music while committed to doing something dignified and respectable. Though he claimed to having been always spiritual, he reconnected with his Islamic faith through a religious awakening at the age of 16. Yusuf self-produced and released his debut album allim unregistered trademark allim at the age of 23. Professional career: 2003 2004, allim. Shortly before traveling to Egypt to study Arabic, Sami Yusuf released his debut album allim in July 2003 and 2004, a primarily percussive album comprising 8 tracks. The radiant cube and purple background of the album cover symbolized the light of the prophetic message illuminating the darkness of the night. Its feature song, allim unregistered trademark allim, became an instant hit in the Middle East, North Africa, and Southeast Asia, topping the charts in Egypt and Turkey for 12 consecutive weeks, selling over 7 million copies worldwide. Believing that music can be a powerful medium to promote ideas and establish dialogue within society, he coalesced Eastern percussive instrumentation and Western melodies in allim unregistered trademark allim with a focus on the English and Arabic languages. The last track, Supplication, was used in the Golden Globe Award-nominated film, The Kite Runner. Though the album was described as a project to define British Muslim identity in a post-9/11 period with explicitly religious themes praising the Prophet Muhammad and Allah in songs like The Creator, and Ya Mustafa it reached the ears of unexpectedly diverse range of listeners, constituting of various nationalities, ages, and races. Redirecting the current of Muslim music through his songs and professionally produced music videos, Yusuf had unintentionally cultivated grounds for a fresh genre of music coined Islamic pop by setting a new benchmark in the religious music industry. The journal Transnational Broadcasting Studies analyzed the main causes of his success by attributing it to Yusuf for unregistered trademark's ability to blend a religious worldview with a mainstream form of entertainment, and in doing so, communicating a personable, accessible expression of the Islamic faith that is in harmony with the modern world and incorporated into the mundane activities of daily life. When asked if he was Sunni or Shia, Yusuf replied, "I'm Muslim." 2005 2009, My Ummah. Yusuf gained worldwide recognition following the release of his second album, My Ummah, in July 2005. This album appeared in both musical and percussive versions and includes 14 tracks. The album unregistered trademark's thematic elements include empowerment of women in free, raising awareness of the plight of victims of conflict-laden regions like Palestine and Darfur in the respective tracks of Try Not to Cry, and Make a Prayer. Muhammad was dedicated to the victims of the 2004 Berlin school massacre, whereas We Will Never Submit protested against acquiescence to oppression. The album, both Eastern and Western in sound, utilized wide-ranging musical instrumentation from classical instruments like piano, violin, flute and drums to ethnic instruments like oud, santur, tar, drums, tombak and more. My Ummah was an embodiment of Yusuf for unregistered trademark S utopia for the Muslim world or humanity at large. Considered a breakthrough album, it sold over 4 million copies globally and was received enthusiastically by a diverse range of listeners, particularly young people, who identified closely with the topics included therein. Transnational broadcasting studies discuss the exposure of Muslim youth to a new dawn of Islamic art with purpose, accrediting this opening to Yusuf for unregistered trademark S music that had the power to both preserve core cultural identity and promote spiritual and material progress. Yusuf's music video featuring the Afghan folklore Hasbi Rabbi became a regional hit in Egypt, and was used to launch Vodafone Egypt unregistered trademark S value-added service platform Vodafone Live. The video portrays Yusuf in multiple characters and locations, as a practicing Muslim businessman in London, a teacher playing soccer and tutoring in Taj Mahal, then a professional violinist jubilantly laughing and chatting with his bandmates in Turkey, and finally as a jovial carpenter in the lively bazaars of Egypt. Recognized by The Independent as the voice of Islam, Yusuf emphasized that he was not a preacher, rather a musician with a message who believes in the urgent need for a wave of people to come along and bridge the gaps, because we have so much in common, so much to learn from each other. A major addition to his artistic repertoire was Oscar-winning director Mark Forster's proposal to Yusuf to compose a credit piece for the Golden Globe Award-nominated film, The Kite Runner. Due to time constraints on both sides however, the credit piece was never realized but Supplication, a track from Yusuf for unregistered trademark S debut album, was used to voice one of the film unregistered trademark S climactic scenes. Reluctant to be dubbed as Islam unregistered trademark S biggest rock star by time, Yusuf later explained that he does not want to be a rock star. A pop star. I just want to make good music, and do what I feel unregistered trademark am confident in doing. And fit unregistered trademark S music. 2005 2009, dispute with former label. In a contractual dispute lasting from 2008 to 2009, Yusuf legally separated from his former record label Awakening. He claimed the third album, Without You, released by Awakening in January 2009, was released without his prior blessings nor consent. He stated, I therefore wish to make it perfectly clear that an album comprised of any such recordings could only be put onto the market against my wishes and without my approval. Sami Yusuf subsequently stated on his official website that this album was released without his knowledge or consent, and is a compilation of demos and sketches with a quality inferior to his normally high standards. He has called for fans to boycott it. However, as of April 2009, Awakening Records continues to feature the album prominently on the Sami Yusuf part of its website, saying that the album is a complete and high-quality album consisting of 11 professionally recorded tracks, and that Sami Yusuf is signed exclusively to Awakening Records for 5 albums. In mid-2009, he signed a 5-album contract with the UK-based record label ETM International. 2009 2012, Wherever You Are pre-release. In July 2009, Yusuf was awarded an honorary Doctor of Letters degree in recognition of his extraordinary contributions to the field of music by Roehampton University in southwest London. Earlier in the year, he was selected to serve as the first global ambassador of Sheikh Hamza bin Nasser unregistered trademark S initiative, Spiritique, which seeks to engage the public, private and civil society sectors to promote large-scale job creation, entrepreneurship and access to capital and markets for young people. Ranked in the top 500 influential Muslims of 2009, a publication edited by Georgetown University unregistered trademark S. John Esposito and Ibrahim Khalin, Yusuf was described as an internationally popular British singer-songwriter whose music has revolutionized the nasheed industry. He is also known for his extensive involvement in charity work. Yusuf released his video single, You Came to Me, in 4 languages in the summer of 2009. Rolling Stone magazine called the style by which Yusuf sung the track unregistered trademark S lyrics touching, listing it as one of the key tracks of the Wherever You Are album. SamiYusufOfficial.com announced the release of Wherever You Are, Yusuf for Euro unregistered trademark S third official album, in March 2010, introducing it as a renaissance. A rebirth. A new beginning. Meanwhile, in the following summer, Yusuf shared his music video Healing, sung in English and Arabic, that was created in cooperation with the KSA-based International Medical Center. It was also listed as another key track by Rolling Stone magazine. In reference to the song Euro unregistered trademark S underlying philosophy of generosity in lines like heal and you will be healed, a Euro give and you will receive, eat a Euro unregistered trademark S Naturia Euro unregistered trademark S order, Yusuf for Euro unregistered trademark S wrote on his blog, I hope it helps, albeit in some small way, in showing that every single one of us can be a healer. Amidst the torrential monsoons that wreaked havoc in Pakistan and affected 20 million lives in the summer of 2010, he promptly released a charity single entitled Hear Your Call, performed in English and Urdu, to raise funds for the displaced Pakistanis in a joint effort with the UN-sponsored charity organization Save the Children. The song was featured on a short film by the United Nations Office for Coordination of Human Affairs appealing for renewed donations towards the relief effort. Prompted by the protests and clashes that transpired in Egypt in February 2011, Yusuf released a free track entitled Euro unregistered trademark M Your Hope, dedicating it to the Shabab, or youth. The lyrics are in English and Arabic. Sami Yusuf has expressed keen interest on initiating his own record company to help artists and talents that are not supported in the near future. 2009 a Euro 2012, Wherever You Are, New Chapter, and Spiritique, performing live in the Maida Vale studios, Yusuf explained that it's 2009, I have different challenges, I've got different issues and I will not sing religious-themed music just for the sake of business. It's got to be what I feel. Yusuf released his third, official studio album named Wherever You're in October 2010, welcoming what he termed a new chapter in his professional career and music. Spiritique is Yusuf for Euro unregistered trademark S self-coined musical and philosophical classification of his music. Spiritique, according to Yusuf, is a blend of both the Oriental and Occidental sounds, underpinned by spirituality that will utilize music as a facilitator for spiritual appreciation, regardless of race and religion. Yusuf considers it his new sound and something he wants to stand for from now. With the exceptions of songs like No Word Is Worthy, You Came to Me, and Salaam, the 12-track set album purposely draws less upon religious content, leaving room for interpretation for listeners of all backgrounds. Yusuf maintains, however, that it follows the same principles and ingredients, of honesty and sincerity. Introducing the album in its official trailer as a mini-diary of events that occurred from 2007 to 2010. Yusuf emphasized that the content is essentially a reflection of his worldview. This third album is about who I am and the reality of the day and age we are living in. It talks about the hypocrisy. Eat a Euro unregistered trademark S quite dark. Songs like Give the Young a Chance, featuring lyrics by Ian Brown, incorporate heavy usage of metaphors, likening the youth to jewels, and allusions to gardens where birds will sing lullabies, and sweet scents fill the air. British singer-songwriter Conor Reeves and Turkish singer Sezen Aksu also collaborated with Yusuf in the track Without You. In Every Tear, He Is Their Song, another track collaboration with Conor Reeves, concludes with an African choir singing In Every Tear / That Is Where He Is There repeatedly in Zulu. Fragile World, Yusuf for Euro unregistered trademark S admittedly own favorite track, is reflective of the dark experiences he underwent throughout the years. Though predominantly performed in English, several tracks include verses in Arabic, Malaysian, Persian and Urdu. It has been given 3.5 stars out of 4 by Rolling Stone magazine, and commended as a beautifully produced album. Sami Yusuf has visited Turkey, UAE, and Qatar to promote Wherever You Are, and is due to travel to Egypt, Singapore, Malaysia, and Jordan in the near future, plus an upcoming European tour scheduled for spring 2011. In late 2011, ETM began distributing with Sony Music Malaysia with Sami Yusuf's album Wherever You Are. The video for In Every Tear He Is There has been released, and That For Make Me Strong was released on April 6, 2012. 2012 present, Release of Salaam, Yusuf's fourth and latest album, was released in December 2012. The physical version was released on December 22, while the digital version was released later, on December 24. In June 2013 it was announced through the media that Sami Yusuf had signed an exclusive worldwide publishing deal with independent music publishers Fairwood Music Limited. Notable tours and concert performances, packing venues in Fairama Arena, Denmark, Grogger Hall in Germany, and Adelen in Netherlands. Yusuf introduced his forthcoming album, Wherever You Are. Sami Yusuf has visited Turkey, UAE, and Qatar to promote Wherever You Are. Acclaim and recognition, Islam a Euro unregistered trademark S biggest rock star a Euro Time magazine, biggest star in the Middle East a Euro Guardian, King of Islamic pop a Euro Al Jazeera, IOL star of 2009, 500 most influential Muslims in 2009, BBC a Euro unregistered trademark S 30 more famous Britons, first global ambassador of Spiritique, Doctor of Letters award a Euro Roehampton University. 500 most influential Muslims in 2010, collaborations, Outlandish a Euro Try Not to Cry, a Euro unregistered trademark Vaccine, Hampsa Robertson, Your Beauty, Erkan Mutlu a Euro Wherever You Are, Sezen Aksu a Euro Wherever You Are, Ian Brown a Euro Wherever You Are, Connor Reeves a Euro Wherever You Are, Siti Nuraliza a Euro Salaam, charity work and humanitarian initiatives. Charity event for disabled children a Euro Cairo, Egypt, Evening of Inspiration a Euro Islamic Relief UK Tour, Evening of Inspiration a Euro Islamic Relief US Tour, Evening of Inspiration a Euro Islamic Relief US Tour, Wembley Arena a Euro UK, Agape Children a Euro unregistered trademark S Orphanage Concert a Euro South Africa, Telethon fundraiser for Gaza, Gaza Rally a Euro Istanbul, Turkey, first global ambassador of Spiritique, Hear Your Call a Euro Save the Children, Pakistan, a Euro unregistered trademark M Your Hope, In Every Tear, He Is There a Euro Haiti, South Africa, discography, allim, My Ummah, Wherever You Are, Salaam the Center, soundtracks and compilations, Supplication a Euro adapted in The Kite Runner, Asma Allah, Palestine Forever, Hear Your Call, a Euro unregistered trademark M Your Hope, The Source, Forgotten Promises, The Rough Guide to Arabic Revolution, music videos, Almira Euro unregistered trademark Allim a Euro de Hani Osama, Supplication a Euro de Hani Osama, Hasbi Rabbi a Euro de Hani Osama, Mother a Euro de Hani Osama, Munajat, Asma Allah a Euro de Hani Osama, Healing a Euro de Jacob Veit Kusk, You Came to Me a Euro de Jacob Veit Kusk, In Every Tear, He Is There a Euro de Jacob Veit Kusk, Hear Your Call a Euro de Denial Noorani, a Euro unregistered trademark M Your Hope a Euro de Kareem Shaban, Forgotten Promises, de Siroz Kadani, Make Me Strong a Euro de Jacob Veit Kusk, It's a Game a Euro de Jorge Bompard, All I Need, Wherever You Are acoustic, Arabica de Siroz Kadani, Wherever You Are acoustic, Farsi de Siroz Kadani, references. External links, Sami Yusuf's official website, Sami Yusuf's official music publisher,